Alright, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Hope you've been having some happy holidays, sharing it with family and friends. So let's go ahead and jump into the last episode of the biggest winners and losers for 2022. Alright, so we've had about a week now to chew on the Apex Predators update. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, what I aim to do here is rank order each nation by how well or not so well that nation made out in the update. Before we start with the nations, let's talk about some observations overall for this patch. This was very much a aviation-centric update, and some nations made out better than others with aircraft. For example, if you own the premium Yak 38 or even the Tech Tree Yak 38M, just roll that sucker out, dust it off, because now you can rock 4 R60s instead of 2. So really good secondary weapons customization there. We got plenty of new mechanics like the helmet mounted sight for the MiG-29 and for the F4J. There's drop tanks in the game now for extra fuel. There's new radar modes, there's new effects, and of course there's some new maps. With this update, some old mechanics are now a little bit more useful. For example, the scout drones are now able to put a marker on the map via the target camera. So the marker is visible to all allies and shown on the minimap of the team as well as on the ground. So pretty good, or maybe not so good if you don't like the scout drones. Okay, alright, so enough waffling. Let's get started with the nation ranking. Okay, so number one for biggest winner here is the USA. So F-16, that's the 4th gen jet a lot of people have been waiting for, and the USA didn't disappoint. In fact, they got 2 F-16s. I know a lot of people thought that they wouldn't get the ADF, but they got the ADF version. They also got the F-16A. So 80 air defense version, Sparrows, AIM-9Ls, but the F-16A is probably the most flexible close air support plane yet in the game. So lots of options. Can carry 6 AIM-9Ls if you just want to do air-to-air with it. One sleeper though for the US and the aviation side of things is the A6E Tram. And it's not sexy, it's not air-to-air, but gosh, this thing is the best grinder I have ever used. So, I spent that $70 and got it. But, using the AIM-9Ls with a gun pod and 6 500-pound bombs, you are sailing through the grind in this thing. And the AIM-9Ls are so good. I've taken so many fighters by surprise with the A6. Sometimes I just go air to air first, and then drop some bombs on targets after. But a good plane. If you want to spend $70, it's probably a good way to do it. Last thing for aviation for the US is the F4J got in helmet mounted sight. Now I haven't used this plane yet in air to air. I already have it ground out and everything, but I think that's pretty cool. I made a video on this before, old dog new tricks, but the AIM-9G in a helmet mounted sight gives the F4J kind of a new lease on life in this era of 4th gen jets in the game. Alright, so moving on to ground here is the American AVRE, otherwise known as the M728 CEV, Civil Engineering Vehicle. It's a premium, for the memes, maybe it's fun to get. It's not going to make that much of an impact, but cool to have. The other one here, another premium as well, is the M1128, another striker, just like the one in the Tech Tree, except for this one doesn't get the M900 shell, but that's okay, because at 9.7, I think it's pretty nice. Yet another vehicle for the US Tech Tree. And for naval, the US got the PT-812, which is going into the Tech Tree, and then there's the USS Newport News, which is an event ship. Alright, so coming up in number 2 for the biggest winners is I'm going to put China here, and that's because China has been winning all year when it comes to additions to the Tech Tree. So they got the F-16A MLU. Everyone thought this was going to be the best F-16 in the game, until of course the ADF appeared. But as far as F-16s for the Chinese Tech Tree, this isn't the best F-16 that Taiwan will ever get. So the F-16V, or the F-16 Viper they're calling it, which is really a Block 70 Viper, Taiwan has just ordered that aircraft as well, and deliveries have already started from what I believe. So there is a really advanced F-16 in the future for the Chinese Tech Tree. So if you like F-16s for Taiwan, stick around. There's also the J7D, which I did purchase. It's a nice premium. Nice grinder with the PL5 and PL5B, excuse me, and the PL7. So good missile choices there. So moving over to Chinese ground, another 11.0 tank for China, the WZ-1001, really just a prototype with a longer cannon, which gives it a little bit better gun handling, so a higher velocity for the gun. So really similar tank to the previous one at 11.0, but this one's just a little bit better in gun handling. Alright, so sliding in number 3 here is Russia with the MiG-29 and MiG-23 ML for aviation editions. You guys already know how I feel about the MiG-29. I made a video on that. Go ahead and check it out if you hadn't seen it. I'm glad the MiG-29 is here in the game. It's a plane that a lot of people have been waiting for. So biggest winners, Russia number 3, I think is a good spot for it, considering, at least in my opinion, some of the underwhelming nature of the MiG-29. I know the plane's going to get better. Gaijin's already working on it. The MiG-23 ML, a solid premium jet if you want a premium jet to grind to top tier. And that's all for Russian aviation. Moving on to ground, we got the Strela SAM, which filled the gap. Really good system from what I see. I haven't used it yet. They also get the T-80U M2, which is an event vehicle. So another T-80. This one doesn't have a thermal sight though, but it does have a hard kill APS system. On the naval side of things, Russia picked up 2 destroyers, the Letuche and the Riani, which is a premium destroyer. Alright, and coming up in spot number 4 for biggest winners is Italy. And I really struggled on whether I should have made it higher, number 1 or 2 or 3. But I settled on spot 4 basically because of the ground editions. But let's go through everything here. So for air, the F-16 ADF finally came, and then Italy got it as well. There seemed to be a lot of weirdness going around on whether Italy was going to get it or not. And I was like, why wouldn't Italy get it? They needed a competitive fighter and they finally got one. So yay for Italy. Happy that this tech tree has finally got some life, breathed into its aviation top tier. They also got the Tornado IDS. Now, the Tornadoes, of course, are not going to be very potent in strictly air-to-air. They are ground attack aircraft first, and they do pretty well at that job. But good that Italy got 2 competitive airframes. That's pretty cool. They also got the F-104S, Turkish Air Force version as a premium. Not really upset about that, but it is another F-104, and it's a premium F-104. So go for that if you want. For ground editions, Italy got the CM52, which is like, oh, okay, that's great. And for naval, they got the Duca Delga Abruzzi. So kind of mediocre on the ground and naval. Really awesome for the aviation pickups for Italy though. All right, coming up in spot number 5 is France, and primarily France is here is because they didn't get another Mirage 2000C, like a better version. But instead they got the Mirage 2000D, which I am still extremely happy about. And I'm not greedy. I love this airframe. It's very beautiful. So the Mirage 2000D R1, glad that air to ground beast is in the game. They also got the Mirage F1C 200 as a premium. So, the Mirage F1's not that great of an airframe in War Thunder, with where it's placed. It's really got good missiles though. So if you want to go and purchase that $70 premium, I'm not going to hate you for it. It's not that bad if you want to grind. And for ground, France didn't do too bad here. The AMX 32-105 going to 9.0 is pretty good. France really needs a lot of tanks, kind of like in that 8.7, 9.0, 9.3 area. They're a little bit weak, at least in the 9.0 area. But the true celebration here should be the Char FCM 2C BIS. So that land ship, it's a premium if you want to get it. I'm probably going to pick it up just because it looks cool to me. So Char FCM 2C BIS for the win. All right, so coming in number 6 spot is Israel with the F-16A Nitz and the Kafir Canard, which is a premium. So really good additions. I'm glad Israel got the F-16. There's so many more F-16s to add to Israel. This is just the beginning for sure. So moving over to ground. So the 13th Magak, I believe, for the Israeli tech tree, the 7C. It looks really nice at 9.3. it could be pretty impactful. I haven't gotten up that far in the Israeli tech tree, but I am looking forward to grinding through all the Magaks. So there we go. Okay, so next up we have Britain at number 7 for biggest winners. So on the aviation side of things, Britain got the Tornado GR1A, which is pretty cool. We've been waiting a long time for that jet. I know there was a lot of frustration around its weapons load when it was first on the dev server. I think Gaijin has changed that a little bit. I think it can carry a little bit more air-to-ground ordnance than it could before. Not so cool though is another F4. Britain got another F4, the F4J UK Premium. It's a premium jet for $70. I don't know if I want to pay that for an F4, but you know, knock yourself out if you want another one. Another good thing here is the Sea Harrier FRS-1. Now it's a squadron vehicle, but I'm pretty excited to see a Harrier, especially the Sea Harrier. I'll be working my way towards the FRS-1. So another good addition, really solid addition for British aviation. Okay, so moving over to ground, guess what we got? Another premium. Gaijin's been slinging premiums everywhere these days, I swear. But we get the Khalid, which is a Kuwaiti version of, or an export version of the Chieftain for the Kuwaiti military. And for naval, Britain picks up the HMS Abdeel light cruiser. All right, so the last of the biggest winners is Sweden, coming in and place number 8 with the JA-37D. So the JA-37D gets better missiles. It gets all aspect RB-74s, which I think are just AM-9Ls. So really good there. And it doesn't really get much else. So it's really, you're grinding another JA-37 really to just get all aspect missiles. So there you go. For rank 7 premium grinders, the Swedish tech tree picks up the Finnish J35XS, which is pretty good. It's the only J35 with countermeasures, and you can carry 6 RB24Js. So a really good plane, I think, at rank 7, and at least you get countermeasures. Alright, so for ground, Gaijin continues to pump up the tree, adding the T55M at BR 8.3. So all around, a pretty good haul for Sweden. Alright, so we're switching gears here and moving over to the biggest losers. So I'll just go in reverse order here, starting with Germany, coming in at place number 2. So I put Germany here for a couple reasons. So let's look at aviation first. So the Tornado ASS TA-1. I was really expecting for Germany to get their own MiG-29, and I was a little bit disappointed when all they got was a Tornado for the tech tree. The MiG-21 Lazure M as the premium grinder. Like, okay, another MiG-21 iteration. All right, kind of meh. And then the actual winter event reward is another Tornado for Germany, the Marine Flieger version, carrying anti-ship missiles. So overall, not a really compelling aviation category ad for Germany, at least in my opinion. I really wanted them to get the MiG-29. For ground, they get another Gepard, an improved version, the Gepard 1A2. And for naval, Germany picks up the V990 and the Z47. All right, so the number one loser is Japan, and I believe they've been in this position for quite some time. So you know why they're the number one loser in War Thunder. So all they got was a premium jet, another F4EJ. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people were talking about what Japan could have got. They could have got a dumbed down Mitsubishi F2, which probably not. I'm not for dumbing it down. The radar on that is pretty good, so probably save it for later. Maybe they could have got the F-15, the only nation that would have gotten it. I don't know. Gaijin probably just needs to look at alternatives for the tech tree, maybe giving them a sub-nation. I don't know what that would be though. But looking at the ground side of things, Japan got the Sub 1-2 and the IGN Miyoko on the naval side of things. So there we go. All right, guys, let me know what you think, especially on the rank order. Do you think I was too harsh on Japan? Do you think they should have been the number one loser again? What do you think about all the other stuff, all the other additions? I know this was a very aviation-centric patch, like I said before, but there were some ground additions. At least China got something pretty nice. top tier on the ground side of things. I thought that was pretty cool. But as always, thank you guys for stopping by. Hit that like button if you like the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you want to be notified when I put a new video out, check the bell icon. And I will see you guys in the future. And hopefully you have a happy new year if I don't get to talk to you before then. All right, peace out.